This month is all about healthy hips and how we can strengthen them and lengthen them and all of the surrounding muscles. So we're going to focus a little bit on hip flexors and hamstrings. And we remember those pull on the hips, right? It can tweak you either direction. And so we want to make sure that both sides are strong so we have a nice stable hip complex. So the whole lumbar hip pelvic area is stable and strong. So we're going to talk today about a single leg forward bend or a standing split. So you could use a bolster, whatever you have. I'm going to use these blocks to come to. So I would start with your blocks on the highest setting. You could also begin this at the wall here. So first we'll show this one. So we're going to come into basically a high lunge, bend the front knee. Now this leg, we're kind of warming up. We can kind of pause here and open up the front of that hip a little bit. We're going to stay nice and square. Then we're going to start to squeeze this glute. This is going to be our standing leg. So it's going to take a lot of power in this leg and a lot of glute in this leg. So we're utilizing the sides individually, which is going to work the brain differently than when we do something bilaterally on both sides or on both sides at once. So it's good for that. It's good for proprioception, all kinds of good stuff. So we're going to bend the knee, lengthen through here. We're going to come into a forward bend over the femur. Grab onto your blocks, and then we're going to lift. So you could just be here, but we're going to lift, squeeze that glute, straighten the standing leg, open the toes, squeeze the glute. So really lift that leg up. Now, remember, if you are looking forward, your leg isn't going to come up because it's like a lever. Something has to go down for something to come up. So as we do this, if I look forward, my leg doesn't come up. If I bring my gaze, I have to lower these a little bit. If I bring my gaze back, my leg will come up higher. So it's important to remember intention and technique. So our intention is to build strength, right? We're also stretching this side. We're engaging it. We're stretching it. So we could start with these lower, or we could move them partway through. So that's a little bit lower. So just as in a high lunge, try to keep this leg straight. Warming up, or getting into this pose is helping to prep us for this pose and really creating some more work for the standing leg again here. So we inhale and we fold over the bent knee, grab the blocks, whatever height is good. Pull the toes up. Keep the chest open, and then we squeeze the glute and straighten the leg and bring the gaze down. Now, you step back into it, come out. You could do this at the wall, kind of like a half forward fold here, and then squeeze the glute. This would be a good beginner step. Now, if you want, you could practice that little bit of hip flexion here, and then we squeeze the glute back. So it's a nice, I don't feel like it's as hard as it looks, but it's a harder pose, but you can modify it. You know, you could even just stand here and just to engage the glute. So you come into your half forward bend and you just squeeze. You could change it again and flex and then extend. So trying to keep a nice long spine. And remember, when you're doing this pose, if you look up forwards, it's not going to help you. You want to look down because you think about what's happening. That will help you engage better in the pose. Remember, we're still engaging through here. We're still lifting that pelvic floor. We're building some glute strength. We're building all the different glutes when we do these poses, and we want to make sure our toes are pointed forward.